Assalamualaikum at isa po mapagpalang araw, isang makadiyos at sa atin minamahal na MP, Honorable Dato MP Ali Sangki, at may gusto kami malaman kaugnay nitong mga batas nitong Sharia Court. Pwede mo ba sa amin na masabi, MP, at paano ang atin tradisyon na Islam sa inyong kaalaman po, at isa kayo sa pinakamagiting at isa sa nangunguna na kasama kayo sa frontliner ng jihad nung during of Marcos Sr. Dato MP.
Waalaikumsalam, maraming salamat at nagkita tayong muli na ang pag-usapan natin ngayon ay ano ang nagawa ng ating gobyerno at ano mga nagawa ng mga Muslim tungo sa payapa at ikaunlad ng ating pamayanan, particularly sa Bangsamoro Homeland. Maraming salamat at napunta kayo rito sa aming bayan ng Dato Sangki Municipality. Ako talagang always parang pakiramdam ko, I'm always highly emotional kung pinag-usapan ng kapayapaan at kaunlaran ng Bangsamoro Homeland. Una-una, yun nga, marami nag-usap nga na mujahidin na ikipaglaban, ipinaglaban ang karapatan ng mga Muslim. Ako po ay galing sa malaking pamilya, ang Patuan family. In fact, kung tutusin, I'm the youngest, parang living son of Sharif Sangki Jambangan ng Patuan. 27 kami magkakapatid. Dok, just imagine ha? 27, patay na 26. Ako na lang.
Only one.
Dato Abdullah Sangki, Dato Abdullah yung mga kuya ko pa yun. Marami kami magkakapatid. 27 nga. 26 patay na. So, bilang nag-iisang naiwan na direct descendant ng Sangki Jambangan ng Patuan, yan, mga lulok mga yung mga dilanggalan, kapatid na lulok ko, dilanggalan. So, ako ngayon bilang nag-isa sa pamilya, na yun, masabi ko, I experienced the saddest part of my life. Kasi di lahat ng malaking pamilya ay magandang kabuhayan. I belong to the poorest in the family, in the clan. But by God's help, nakapag-aral po ako sa Manila. At I have also studied abroad. I have studied in Manchester University out of scholarship. So, ang pag-usapan natin ngayon ay yung trabaho natin sa barn. Kunting background ko lang yung nasabi ko sa inyo. Yun na, naging aktivista po ako. In fact, kung pag-usapan natin ng rebellion, bago na nagkaroon yung batch of 90, kasama ko yan sila Clay, yun si Dato Alice Salona, si Akmati Napal, George, marami pang mga mujahidin. Yung first batch na 90, na supposed to be kasama ako doon. Pero hindi ako nakasama. Sinabihan ako nila, Commander, yung sila Clay, nasabi niya, Ali, kung magsama ka, sayang ang pag-aaral, mag-graduate ka pa naman ng high school sa MLQ. 1968 yun, first batch. So hindi ako nakasama sa first batch. So tinapos ko ang pag-aaral ko. So but in the end, pumunta ako ng Tawi-Tawi, pumunta ako ng Ulo. Dahil hindi ko matiis na hindi ko makasama ng ating mga kasamahan. We were so much against the program of Government against President Marcos. But then I found out later that Marcos is right. Kasi nung bumalik na ako sa after the Battle of Bulo, with respect sa, I'm the only Maguindao sa Battle of Bulo in 1974. Ang nagligtas ka sa akin noon was si Nizam Abubakar, na nagkataon na si Commander Hata, the famous mujahidin sa Lupaso, doon kami sa Maybong. I'm the front line. Maybong, Bualnangka, Paraiso Cave, hanggang sa kampo ni Kamlon doon sa loob. So what I'm saying is that when you talk about mujahidin, itinatay buhay mo, nagkataon na nabuhay ako sa kaawan ng Diyos, Allah Ta'ala. At that time, isa lang anak ko nung si Meron lang yung gawin. So sinabi na ako ng grupo na, Ali, bumalik ka na lang tapos yung pag-aaral mo. Dahil hindi lahat natin maghawak ng baril. Kailangan din natin makapagtapos mag-aaral. So bumalik ako. Kinuha ko ang anak ko sa Buluan. I returned to Manila to complete my studies. Habang history natin, pero I will cut it short. So nabalik ako sa Manila. So, in my employment, nagkataon na si Marcos was so serious of making the Muslim better Muslim. So yun na-create ang Manabang. So yung na-create ng Manabang. Kasama na dyan si Dato Mikael Mastura, yung boss na si Din Mahul ng UP, and of course, may mga military personnel na sympathetic sa atin. So, I was recruited ng PTF-RDM, Presidential Task Force for Reconstruction and Development of Mindanao. Kasi kailangan ang Mindanao na nasirang-sira sa JERA. So, nag-create si Marcos ng PTF-RDM, Presidential Task Force for Reconstruction and Development of Mindanao. Na-recruit ako ng opisina yun. And I really need employment. Kasi nga, working student ako, na may pamilya na ako, nag-isang anak. So, when I was working with PTF-RDM, I met sila Makapanta Navas Jr., Dr. Mike Mastura, Din Mahul, kinuha nila ako. And then I learned many things. So doon ko nakita na Marcos wanted to develop the Muslim by first creating the Amanabang. Nandito yung document na Amanabang.
Ayan.
Ito yun. Creating Amanabang. This was created by President Marcos, Amanabang, to develop the Muslim. It so happened, no, na I also became the chairman of Amanabang. I intimated to Madam President, the great President Madam Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, sabi ko, ma'am, gusto kong hawakan ng Amanabang. Video conference si ma'am President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. Sabi ni Ali, walang pira ng Amanabang. Pero jokingly ba, precisely mong gusto kong hawakan ng Amanabang dahil walang pira. But actually, ma'am, sabi ko, I am so serious about Hani Amanabang because I was a researcher sa UP when Amanabang was created in the time of Din Mahul and Dr. Mike Mastura. So kinuha ko, I was recommended by GMA, President Gloria Macapagal, to become the chairman of Amanabang. And I was able to stabilize Amanabang. Yung pala, maraming sekreto ng banking operation pero huwag natin muna pag-usapan dito. In fact, Amanabang is one of the 3 government-created bank na aside sa DBP, Land Bank at Amanabang. And Amanabang was very promising bank. Ito, sa Amanabang na ito, I was also fortunate to having been sent to Saudi Arabia. Ito nga, ang topic namin was Amanabang. Secretary Rominelli wrote a letter. Ito nga. Ito ang sulat niya.
Okay.
Okay. Ang letter ni Rominelli was Dr. Ahmad Muhammad Ali, President Islamic Development Bank, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Attention, Dr. Nabil N. Nasib, Advisor in Charge, Asset Management Department. Itong sulat na ito ni Secretary Rominelli was addressed sa Islamic Development Bank in Saudi Arabia. And I hand-carried this letter. And ito nga na, bakit pa nga dito na I was the chairman na ito, copy press na Ali Bisangki.
Kung kayo ay iluklok ng taong bayan na bilang member of parliament, gusto niyo pa ba isulong yung Amanabang?
Yes, that's a very good question. Amanabang was precisely created by the government to be a state bank ng Bangsamoro. So, having the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, dapat yan ang kukunin natin na state bank. Una-una, bakit natin kukunin? Because it is a Islamic bank compliance. Ibig sabihin, walang interest. Service fee lang. Magutang ka sa DBP sa Land Bank, ilan ang interest? Mga 78%, di ba? Laking interest, abot pa ng 10. Pero sa Amanabang, service fee lang. And that Islamic Bank made Malaysia a very progressive country because of Islamic bank system. Yung PhilHealth nila, PhilHealth Development Authority, was funded through Islamic banking concept. So, umasin sa Malaysia. So, if the bank can get Amanabang, we will apply Islamic bank system. And if that will happen, all the Muslim countries will patronize Islamic bank or Amanabang. And it will bring development to the Bangsamoro. Medyo mahabang story natin, pagdabato ng Amanabang. Itong sulat na ito, na sulat ni Sir Rominelli sa pagputak ng Saudi. At dito yung mga document na what to do to develop the Bangsamoro homeland. Nandito na nabanggit rin ni Secretary Nere.
Nakapag-invest din ba ang Saudi sa
after my visit, after this letter, no, this was in 2007, I was visited by so many Arab investors. One of the investors was from Kuwait, Sheikh Ahmed Al-Sabah, one of the richest man in Kuwait, kamag-anak ng Emir of Kuwait. He visited me here in Sultan Kudarat.
Okay.
In fact, Sheikh Ahmed Al-Sabah is also the one who financed the Clark Air Base Development, yung airport doon, international airport. It is through his initiative.
One of
Sheikh
the
Abdul
richest,
Sabah.
considering he's one of the richest in
Yeah, he was the richest family. And dinadala ko yan din sa Soto, pati sa Davao City, si Sheikh Abdul Sabah. And very challenging yung kanya kasi there I learned that every year we need 1 million goats as kurban. Yung parang sukaliin during Ramadan, during Idul Adha.
hindi lang tayo.
So, ang gusto ni Sheikh Abdul Sabah, tayo mag-provide ng 1 million kambing. How can we do that?
Yung isa-sacrifice.
Yeah.
Very
So, we can only do that kasi they are getting that from Australia and South African countries. So, it's very promising. So, in short, medyo habang ito natin, this is the letter of no less than the Director General of NEDA, National Economic Development Authority, Secretary Romanelli, wrote a letter to the chairman, the president rather, of the Islamic Development Bank in Jeddah. And then I was properly entertained
Okay.
by them.
Napakaganda. Pangalawang question po, MP. Ano yung kaalaman nyo sa Sharia Court na isa po sa napakagandang sinusulong nyo para karapatan ng Islam?
Ito sama na ba? Next natin pag-usapan. So next is about the Sharia Court. Now, it so happened that I was a researcher sa PTF Argument sa under the office of the Mahul. Now, sa Sharia Court, Pilitin 2093, no, created the Sharia Court. Na ito ngayon, I have only document about the Sharia Court na ang Pilitin 2093 created 5 Sharia District Court.
Okay.
5 Sharia District Court and 51 Circuit Court.
Okay.
District Court, yung parang regional trial court. Then Circuit Court, parang municipal court yan. Now, yes, yes. Now, when you talk of the Sharia court, no, Sharia court in the Philippines,
Okay.
this person to Pilitin 83. I was a researcher in Mahul, pati nila Mike Mastura, when this Pilitin 83 was enacted into law by President Marcos. It created 5 Sharia district court. District na parang RTC court, 5. And 51 circuit court, parang municipal circuit court. Ang question ko, I have also the list of bar examination, ilan lang nagpumasa. Just imagine, from 1983, nandito ang listahan sa akin. Ng Sharia, listahan na pumasa sa Sharia bar exam. Umabot na ito ng mga 700. 1983, just imagine. 1983, meron pa na dyan. Successful Sharia bar examination. Sa listahan. 1987, successful Sharia bar examination. 1991, successful Sharia bar examination. Sequence yan, kompleto. So we have almost about 700 Sharia lawyers. Ang question ko, yan mo, 1993. I have the listahan. 1999, no? Anyway, medyo palagto-lagtong years na napan. Basta to show na I have already list of names.
But now is question, MP, isa yan sa sinusulong nyo na magkakaroon ba ito sila ng beneficiary o maging katulad sa mga teacher?
Ang sinusunod ko yun, Doc, is that yung let us fill up yung vacant position. Yung sabi ko, Sharia District Court. Not one out of the 5 was filled up. Out of the 51 na Sharia Circuit Court, parang municipal, only 30 was filled up. 21 ang di pa na-fill up up to now, in spite of the so many passers ng Sharia ban.
So, isa yan sa pinaglalaban nyo na dapat kung kayo ay iluklok ng parliament ulit, ay kailangan na may pasa yung batasan.
May yan. Okay, just imagine, out of 51, only 30 was filled up, 21 hindi. Inamatay yung dalawa, 28 talaga operating. So out of 5 naman na district court, not one was filled up. Not one was made operational. No. Lately, my friend, brother Ruben Padilla, Senator Ruben Padilla, sponsored and the same was enacted into law, yung 5 Sierra District Court, dinagdaganin ng 3. Bali naging 8. Yung 51 na Circuit Court, Municipal Circuit Court, dinagdaganin ng 12. Bali naging 63.
Particular na ba ito doon sa isa yung mga kababaihan na...
Yeah, kasama na sa dapat ipilap na dahil we have sufficient number of lawyers. Oh,
Do you think
At saka-
we have enough buildings or office
Yes.
to
It's a matter, in fact, I have here the letter ng the court administrator. Ito nga.
Okay. Bago lang.
Office of the court administrator, Supreme Court. Yan pa rin.
Bago lang, no? Bago lang.
Okay, noong 2009.
Oo, 2009.
Secret. Oh, this refers to the letter dated 16 March seeking an audience meeting with the undersigned. I want to meet the court administrator to implement this.
Okay.
And I was informed that the court administrator, they are even willing to put up Sharia Court of Justice in the Supreme Court compound. And in all areas where you have yung Sharia District Court, nalagyan ng Hall of Justice.
Okay.
In fact, I was referred to the Congress to ask for funding during those times. So ito, later, court administrator, Ali Santi.
Okay.
So it's a matter of implementation. So, ito ngayon, pati yung all about the document, ito nga, Evan Sibuha, National River Development Council, Evan then Governor na Gwendolyn Garcia of Cebu. Here's the letter, you see.
Okay. Okay.
When I was in Cebu, I was informed at that time, ang mayor ng Cebu City was Mayor Rama. They're asking us to put up a Sharia court in Cebu. Just imagine, a Christian community. They were asked to put up a Sharia court in Cebu because there are about 80,000 Muslims in Cebu City alone in those time. O siguro by this time, mga 100,000 Muslim na in Cebu.
Kaya pala sinusulong nila.
And in Visayas alone, there's about 500,000 Muslim. So that's why they want to put up a Sharia court. No less than Gwendolyn Garcia wrote a letter to the Supreme Court. You see?
Do you think we have enough budget if considering that sa parliament
We have enough.
para sa salary ng staff ng mga
We have enough.
Okay.
Sufficient. So this is the list, no? Ito nga, sinasabi ko na we have sufficient. Ang nagko-conduct ng alam mo Sharia Bar examination and training, lecture, before you can take the Sharia Bar examination, meron kayo, you have to attend seminar para bang short course on Sharia law.
Okay.
And this is supervised by the Supreme Court. The Sharia Bar examination is also supervised by the Supreme Court. So if you pass the Sharia Bar exam, why are you going to question the qualification when it is the Supreme Court mismo nag-supervise, nag-conduct ng training and seminar?
To witness.
So, it is not a reason na hindi ma-fill up yung vacant position sa Sharia District Court at Sharia Circuit Court for lack of Sharia lawyer. Because these people pass the Sharia Bar exam out of the supervision ng Supreme Court. So, ito nga, to make the Muslim better Muslim, let us implement this.
Okay.
Ito nga, I wrote a letter to the Chairman, Chief Minister Murat Ali Sanki. I wrote a letter to following up the implementation of this Sharia Court.
During of Chief Aji Murad, Chief Minister.
I wrote this letter. Tiyan mo?
Okay. Receive.
Acquisition of Muslim, iba pa yung settlement, iba pa yan. Ito sa Sharia. Now, implementation of Penitentiary 3 providing for the strengthening and full operation of Sharia courts in the Philippines pursuant to Penitentiary 3 and Republic Act 1954, Chapter 1, creating the Sharia Appellate Court.
Okay.
And just imagine what the government did. During the time of, I think it was Congressman Governor Hatanan. Now, the government gave us the Sharia District Court. Di ba? Sharia Circuit Court. Binigyan pa tayo ng Sharia Appellate Court. If you're not contented sa decision sa Sharia Supreme Court, the government created the Sharia Appellate Court Portuanto Republic Act 1954. So, to make the Muslim better Muslim, binigyan natin ng gobyerno. But it is the Muslim leaders themselves who they want spoon feeding pa. Nandiyan ang pagkain, gusto subuan pa. Oh, I'm sorry to say this.
Pangatlong question po, MP, doon po sa inyong sinusulong at nung kayo ay nakaupo pa, patuloy ang inyong sinusuporta itong land.
Land for the landlords.
That's a very good question.
Para sa ating mga kababayan.
Na nagnanais din na magkaroon ng lupa. Lupain.
Now ito, Presidential Proclamation ng Muslim Settlement.
Yan.
Now, I think I have here the letter. I wrote the letter to the department, no? Ito
yan.
sa akin.
Yan.
Now, I found out that the government issued so many, about 35 presidential proclamation giving land to the landless. Landless Muslim, landless indigenous people, landless natives. And I have the document. Gusto? Ito, i-focus mo yan.
So, isa ba yan sinusulong ni MP?
Yes. In fact, I wrote a letter. Nandito yung pan.
Ang pangalawang tanong, MP, how kung mapasa yan, paano maka-beneficiary? Ano yung mga
That's a very good
dokumento?
question. Now, ganito. Ito nga. In my letter, ito nga, pamunod ko. This is the different one, no?
How many acres of
Ito
land?
sa Sulu, meron a series of proclamation. Sa Sulu ito.
So,
Sa Sulu, I found out that may mga 25,000 hectare tawi-tawi area.
nabili
Proclaimed by
yan.
the government na ibigay, distribute sa mga tao doon, native people. But according to allowable hectare per family. Hindi yung as far as the eye can see, akin yan.
Tama
Kasi
sa
ano
Maylay.
nangyayari, yung mga prominent family, they're getting land, big tract of land against the allowable hectare per head. So, ang sa akin, what is allowed by law, similar sa Malaysia, at least bawat pamilya, bawat entitled 5 hectare lang.
Like Malaysia.
Like Malaysia. Tapos kung may anak ka na age of majority, let us say 18 years old or above, may asawa, you also entitled to another 5 hectare. Hindi yung as far as the agency, meron siya mag-claim na ito, lupa ito ni Lolo, 400 hectare, 500 hectare. Kung may magpasok rin, pinapatay. When it is not titled, it's only a claim, verbal claim. Dahil mga dato-dato. So ito, ang dami namin ito. Have already proclamation. May mapa pa. So what we can do now, I wrote a letter to Chairman Murad. Ito nga. Sinabi ko sa kanya na let us implement this presidential proclamation settlement. Ito nga. Here is my letter. Ito.
Okay.
My letter to him, kay Chairman Murad, noong July 2020, November 12, acquisition of Muslim settlement based on presidential proclamation indicated herein. Nakatas ito. Acquisition of Muslim settlement.
So, isa yan sa pinanukala mo nung during of former Chief Minister Haji Murad.
Yes, address na sa kanya.
Ano ang pang-apat na po, MP?
Now, meron pa akong joke na established an authority to regulate the Liwasan Mark Development Program as proposed by the Southern Philippines Development Authority. Now, I started my career in government as a young manager sa Southern Philippines Development Authority in 1975. So, gumawa ngayon ng government ng Liwasan Mark Development Project ito yan.
Okay.
Complete ito. So, in my letter to Chairman Mura, sinabi ko nito na establishment of a regulatory agency to develop Liwasan Mas. Ito. Yan. Yan. Complete. Ensuring Philippine food and energy security using Liwasan Mars. Now, makita mo dito, ang ganda talaga ni Liwasan Mars. Liwasan Mars ito, province ni Marsan. Yan lang.
Okay.
Makita mo dito sa mapa nito. Color kasi ito, sorry kay Yung makita mo yung color, maganda. Nandiyan ang pangalan ko.
Yeah.
Sa baba. As proponent.
As a component.
As a proponent. Now, nasabi ko rito na Diligawan San Mars has an area of 288,000 hectares. 19 municipalities, 3 provinces, and 16 river tributaries. Okay, no?
Can you consider it as like quiet kung ma-develop po yung Ligwa San Mars? More than quiet.
Maraming gustong papasok na financer.
Okay.
So, before you can entertain this financer, you have to also secure the investment.
Okay.
Hindi yung pag nag-invest, itakbo ng social sa area ang pira ng mga investor. Mahirap yun. So, my idea is to really have a legally organized institution that will attend and entertain this investor. So, Ligawan San Mars, as I was saying 288,000, meron akong propose na 50,000 hectare na wildlife refuge area. Ibig sabihin, it is national treasure na hindi galawin ka doon ng wildlife refuge area. Mga wild bird, mga crocodile, all endangered species na galing sa Ligawan San Mars na hindi galawin na sa 50,000 hectare.
Pero until now, MP, alam po namin na meron pang mga word yan na ayun ang gusto niyo pang maprotektahan ang inyong sinusulong.
Yeah, ito nga, aside from ito nga, Ligawan San Mars, no? Yung mga tao doon sa Ligawan San Mars, nakikita mo, narinig mo, nag-aawayan na territory. No, ang proposal ko dyan, magkaroon ng bar ng agency, ministry, that will focus their attention on how to stop this quarrel among the different clans in Ligawan San Mars area. Kasi meron diyang area sa Ligawan San Mars, in fact, I was approached by a family in Ligawan San Mars. Meron siyang mapa na wala naman titulo, pero mapa na approved by surveyor. Mabot ng 600 hectare. Na ginawa sa ako rito na gusto nilang matituluan yun. Sabi ko, bawal yun. Sa isang tao lang, isang 600 hectare. Bawal yun. Pero ilista mo kung sino ang mga kapamilya no na bigyan ng share doon sa lupa na yun. That's how to solve it. So, I have only document na ang ganda talaga ng Ligawan San Mars. Ito nga, if you look into mga recommendation that in particular agriculture, niya po, pati Middle East countries, they are interested.
So kung ma-dredge pala yung Ligwa San Mars, possible na marami pang maalagaan na...
Maganda, yung dredging of Ligawan San Mars. Yes, sabi ko na, there are about 16 river tributaries. Pag i-dredge mo yan, yung river, mag-contain ng flow, hindi na mag-spread out.
Okay.
Pag na-contain mo yan, may river bank, mayroong dike, no? So, it will flow smoothly sa Ligawan San Mars. Magkaroon tayo ng elevated agricultural land area with about 164,000 hectares, the biggest organic farm in the I would say in the area, possibly the world, the biggest organic farm where you do not need fertilizer for the next 20 years. Kasi ang Ligawan San Mars is very fertile. So, ang gawin mo lang, i-dredge mo yung river, second river, na hindi mag-overflow. Katulad ginawa na Tunggol Bridge. Makita mo yung Tunggol Bridge? That is a man-made canal. Ginawa ng ilog yan, paalis sa Ligawan San Mars. So, going na to, Pulangi River, going na to Tamuntaka River na yan. So, yung sasabi ko 16 river tributaries, ang outlet niya is, yung sa Cotabato, outlet at saka Tamuntaka. Dalawang outlet lang yan. Pero, ang tubig papunta sa Ligawan San Mars. I have also list of name of yung river na kita mo kanina na nandito yung listahan. Ilan ng river?
Yung 16.
Pupunta sa Ligawan San Mars. Nandito yung listahan. 9 waters in area. Marshall Complex, Ligawan San Mars, Ipanan, Libungan, Butilen. Mali ito lahat ang area. Pati yung ilan ng river na pupunta doon na punta sa Ligawan San Mars. Nandito rin listahan. Ito yung sasabi ko na irrigation canal integrated harbor line yun. Pag nagawa mo yung ilog na yan, ito na yung sinasabi ko na riverbank. Maging upland ito. So, pwede ka maglagay ng mga
Alagang hayop.
mga alagang mga pato, mga itik, pispan, ganyan, pati ba, kambing. Yan. So that's how promising ang Ligawasan Mars.
Pang-anim na question tayo, MP. Pang-anim na question doon sa mga nakita namin na mga sinusulong nyo na napakaganda yung mga kabuhayan.
Yung Sibuto Channel.
Yung Sibuto Channel, yung inyong binabangkit kanina. Pwede mo ba i-detalye at anong kahalagaan nito?
Nasa Sibuto naman, I also filed a bill about Sibuto naman.
So mag-benefits ito sa area ng Sulu dahil sa possible massive income na gagawin ng mga nagmamayari doon.
Ito, I filed a bill. Ito, about resolution creating Barn Board of Inquiry in aid of legislation to review the territorial jurisdiction issues and maritime transit rights of the Barn government over the Sibuto Channel in Tawi-Tawi, determining its economic and security implications and for other purposes. Now, this bill that I have submitted, no, may number na eh.
Yes.
This is number 136. Ang question ko sa Sibuto Channel, every day, dumadaan sa area na yan, more than 200 na
Ships.
lansa. Ito mga
Lansa, okay.
boat ship from Australia.
Big and small.
Yan.
Big ship.
Yan.
One of
Yan po. Yan po.
si talking this the backdoor MP.
Dito, makita mo ha, Sibuto at saka, paano? Sibuto at saka Simunod. Yan. No, diyan dumadaan, yan sa red mark na, diyan dumadaan mga barko.
Okay.
International. From Australia, New Zealand,
Malaysia.
Indonesia, Malaysia, papunta ng Middle East countries. Na from Middle East countries, papunta naman ng Malaysia, Singapore, papunta ng New Zealand, Australia. Or masasalong mga barko. So every day, per my investigation, mga more than 200 barko dumadaan. Now, if you can put up this Sibuto Channel, may parang parking area ng mga barko.
Pasalubong area. Just like
mga barko na yan, for instance, galing Australia, it will take them mga 9 days from Australia bago makapunta ng Sibuto. Dito rin na doon sa Middle East. So 9 days na yun na biyahe nila, minsan magpahinga rin sila. So kung meron kang pantalan dyan na parang sa Singapore, PSA, kasi I've been to Singapore, yung PSA Port of Singapore Authority.
You're thinking like hotel,
Yes.
and someone
Saka food supply.
native products from Mindanao,
or tourism.
Yung mga barko na yan. Yung mga barko na dumadaan dyan, kung meron tayong pantalan dyan, maglalanding yan para magpahinga sila.
So ang
mga bigas na,
bigas,
imagine, 50 sacks, 100 sacks, bawat barko. May trading center dyan. Magkano yung mga pang-ulam nila.
Yeah.
Diyan sila magbili sa pantalan yan. As I have seen in Singapore. So, ang isa pa dyan, maka-income ang government natin sa
so, you are thinking to focus kung kayo iluklok ng MP Parliament ulit ay gusto niya isusulong yung panukalan na yan
Yes.
para makatulong sa government
Yes.
to benefit of Bangsamoro.
Yes.
Makaka-beneficio.
At saka, yung makikita mo rito, yung UNCLOS, United Nations Law of the Sea, you have to exercise that. Now, under the United Nations Law of the Sea, we have to look back on who is instrumental in passing this. It was also President Marcos during his time. Sino pinadala niya yun sa United Nations? It was his Vice President.
So not to belittle all the MPs, possible yung election this coming October 2025, yan na yung official election elected member of parliament na magsusulong kanyo consider also na magiging majority kayo pag ipinasa ninyo ang posibleng mga batas na yan na MP na ibebeto rin sa inyong presentation.
You will recall that the present status ng BARM is only transition.
Okay.
Transition. Then after that, we will have a regular.
Regular
election.
na po.
Being a transition government, we have to be very careful in promoting and in pursuing whatever we have in mind. Because as we can recall, the BARM is a product of the struggle of some group of people like the MNLF, the MILF, and also the BMLO, composed of Maranao and Iranon. So there are three liberation movements claiming some authority also to influence on how to run and manage the new government after the transition. So these are issues and concerns that must be looked into whoever will be the new members of parliament
To
that
represent.
will be elected. Yeah.
Yeah.
We will, if you are there already, you are not just representing the Mujahideen. You are not just representing the MNLF, the MILF, or the BMLO. You are representing the greater majority of our people. So my thinking is unity in diversity. And plus, we must also look into the welfare of our indigenous people. When I say indigenous people, we have the native Tiduray, Manu, Bilaan, di ba?
Yes.
Yung kamag-anak natin, kapatid. So, it is also part of my program to give land to the landless indigenous people. You can just imagine in UP, you have heard of it, there was a problem. The government gave 4,000 plus hectare na dyan. 4,700 plus hectare of land per proclamation, giving land to the native people that were composed of Tiduray, Bilaan, and Muslim, and native Christian. Pero bakit hanggang nag-away? Ang mga Muslim, di ba nagbabarilan sa North Bay? Ang pinag-awa ang lupa. So dapat pakialaman ng BARM to distribute that land to those people according to allowable hectare.
Yeah.
Hindi as far as the eye can say, akin yan. Sabi mo na, dito nakatirang lolo ko. So, your lolo is claiming a land na more than what is allowed by law. That is wrong. You can claim a land that is according to the law. What is allowed by law. The government is not depriving you to own a land. The government is giving you land, but only what is allowed by law.
But you are in favor also to the separation of the province of Sulu, considering that Sibutu Island is under that area?
I'm not in favor of removing or separating Sulu in the BARM. In fact, if you look into the creation of the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao, there was a struggle to unify Mindanao. In fact, if you look into the original plan of Chairman Misware, he was talking about 13 provinces and 9 cities. He wanted to be part of that government of the BARM. And so was Chairman Murad. 13 provinces and 9 cities. Yun ang one. Pero ang depicto lang dyan, mas pang plebiscito.
Plebiscito.
Which I was against. I was ever misunderstood. Kasi pwede mo man magkaroon ng autonomous government na wala ng plebiscito.
One question, MP. This talking of separative of from Ulot in Mindanao, kaya ba ito gusto nila i-separate dahil na rin sa yung sinasabi ng mga letter doon na ang nakikinabang lang ay taga dito sa party?
That's a very good question to. Ang mali kasi dito, pag tawasong marakan MNLF, pag MNLF, siyempre identify niya sa tawasong sa Malyakan. Pag MI naman, identify sa Maguinao sa Iranon. Pag BMI naman, identify yan sa Maranao. So there are 3 liberation movement. Ang problema ngayon, even the MNLF is being divided. Meron tayong Miswari as chairman, Miswari Paxson. Meron tayong Muslim Sema. If you look in the paper, ang tawag nila kay brother Muslim Sema, who is also my relative.
Bangsamoro Party, ha?
Hindi. Yung makita mo na
Chairman.
Muslim Sema, MNLF chairman.
Yeah, no.
Nabasa ko, sabi ko,
15 council.
bakit ginawang dalawang chairman ng MNLF? There was a time that even my brother, Joseph Chikrin, he was a MLF chairman. There's only one chairman ng MLF, Chairman Miswari.
That's
Pero makita mo dyan, si Brother Muslim Isima, MLF chairman. Now, dito naman sa MI, kuposa mo na, ngayon, ginisplit nila. Si Chairman Murad, si Chairman Brad, Sami Gamba.
namin.
So, dalawang chairman ng MLF. Now, dito naman
Division.
Ngayon, susunod naman yan, itong si Commander Bravo, chairman naman ng BMLO. And there's also a group of BMLO, Marano, nandiyan ng mga Alonto, na who really nagsakripisyo talaga ang mga Alonto.
Thank you for information, MP. What about yung pinakita nyo ng mga plan na magaganda at nakikita namin ng mga like yung pamimigay niya pag-distribute nyo ng mga ambulansya na umabot na ng tawi-tawi.
Anim na...
Nine.
9. Oh, 9.
No. Of course, I have seen yung kinakailangan ng itong mga lugar na ito, yung healthcare. Sa healthcare nila, ibang paghakot ng mga pasyente, problema nila.
Okay.
So I found that out, because being also a mujahideen, when I was in Tawi-Tawi, na I was in Simunol, and I was in Ulo, nakita ko na kailangan nila ng ambulansya. So immediately, sila una kong binigyan ng ambulansya, Tawi-Tawi. Pati livelihood, pati pandalan. Peace landing.
Mga ilang kaya yun na...
Sa inyo po galing yun?
Oh,
Ilang bayan ang nabigyan nun ninyo?
siyam na. Ambulansya.
Kasamang GSKP, Mamasapano, SSB, Saripagwak, Dato Tawal, Tawi-Tawi,
Raja Bayan.
Raja Bayan, and Saiduna. Hindi kasamang Saiduna.
Mamasapano.
Mamasapano. Okay.
Eventually.
Ibalik ko na doon sa tawi-tawi kasi medyo maganda yung pag-ano mo. Yun ang isa sa inyong iniisip na walang discrimination ang ilang pagmamahal. Maging Sulu ka man o Sambonga.
Yes.
Dahil binigyan nyo ng itong espasyon o doon sa sinasabi natin pantalan.
Yes. And in fact, dito naman sa atin, even yung Kamuntalan, I have done my peace landing and peace combat corps. Through brother staff for it.
Do you have in mind attacking rural poverty in preparing the Bangsamoro to always?
Yes.
Okay.
How to fight poverty? We can use Ligawasan Mars as a model. As I was saying, the biggest organic farm in the world, if our plan will materialize, is Ligawasan Mars.
You mean hindi na maghihirap ang mga
Hindi maghihirap.
kapatid nating
Hindi
Bangsamoro?
maghirap. In fact, ang nakapanghinay nga, you have seen Vietnam. It was devastated by America. 1960s lang sila nagkaroon ng independence. Number one number one cassava flour mill producer ngayon ng Vietnam. In fact, America is getting their flour in Vietnam. Number one ang Vietnam ngayon sa arena production.
Yung banana.
Hindi, yung arena
sorghum.
cassava.
Ay, kasaba.
Yun nga, banana. Saging.
Kamuting
Iba
gapo.
pa yun.
Ay, kasaba.
Kamuti kayo yung cassava.
kamuting kahoy.
Ginawang arena.
Yeah, kamuting gapo.
What about yung nakita namin na napakalawak na inyong project itong langka?
Langka din. O kasama.
That's our proposed
Jackfruit.
plan sa mountain areas sa hinterland. Now we will teach our brother, mga Tito Ray Manogo, how to utilize their very rich fertile land in the hinterland mountain areas. Turuan natin sila. And that area will be their property. In fact, I'm going to work out the titling of the land in their name.
In their name.
Individual.
Award.
Award. Para yung investor hindi matakot. Matakot ang investor, magpakawalan ng pera hindi pala sa iyong lupa.
Tama.
So, we will make it legal na ikaw. Ang kasosyo ng investor.
Question is, Dato MP, itong magtatanim ka ng langka, saan ba ito manggagaling itong bini?
seeds.
Pag ikaw ang linuklok nila, manggagaling ba ito susuportahan nyo?
Maraming supplier
Okay.
ng mga langka. Pati yung mais na makita mo yung yellow corn na ang haba, Japan, napunta na pa sa Japan, I saw the corn.
So pwede ito gamitin dito
Pwede gamitin sa atin na.
Na inyong sinusulong pag nakabalik kayo?
Just imagine isang hektarya, you can earn mga 200,000 pesos.
Just
Using
one
this
hectare, no?
yellow corn na mahaba masyado.
Ang makukuha.
Sa Japan mo bilang siling.
So possible export, import.
In fact, pumunta kami lately, last year, kay Mrs. ko, nakita kong yellow ko, mga ko, I have pictures. Yung ko na mahal masyado.
Okay.
How
So
about
we
yung
can get the seedling done.
Very good. Yung natural rubber natin, meron ba tayong makaproduce ba tayo na magagandang klase ng mga goma seeds or
Yes,
rubber trees?
Kompleto tayo.
Okay.
Di ba, we talk of rubber naman. Sa makilala mo makita ang rubber tree.
Yeah.
You see? So, it's only a matter of organizing a group of people that will assert independence of the right of the landless people in the area.
Okay. Maraming salamat po MP at mag-iisang oras na po tayo mahigit at second time in FALD at interview natin ulit kasamang Bagwis para sa kanyang pagbabalik ng Member of Parliament at maraming makikita ng ating mga kababayan kung saan ito ay personal na tumungo tayo dito at tinanggap at nakita natin yung mga ebidensya at nandito lahat at maganda yung mga kanyang advocacy atikain na lalong unlad pa ang atin Bangsamoro lalong-lalo na sa kanyang pamumuno. Mabuhay kayo MP. Any parking words para sa ating mga kababayan.
Maraming salamat sa inyo to share my ideas on how to develop the Bangsamoro homeland. And yung advocacy ko as a former aktivista, rebelde tayo. In fact, medyo nabalik naman ako sa istorya. In fact, tinatawag nila na first quarter storm sa Malacanang, binanggam na kasama ako dyan. Pati mga bombing sa Plaza Miranda, as an activist, kasama rin ako doon. So, I was an activist. Up to now, nakita ko na yung hiningi natin ibinibigay ng gobyerno. Ang mali lang, wala tayong grupo to implement what was already given by the government to us. So all that we need is a core group that will implement what was already given by the government to us. Di ba? So there must be unity in purpose. And now I hope Brother Haj Murad Ibrahim, Brother Sam Gamal, and Iqbal, of course Iqbal, schoolmate ko sa MLQ, and also my son-in-law si Teng Maurato, my daughter Miriam, and my grandson. They're in politics, and they always listen to advice. In fact, recently I was with my grandson and my son-in-law today, and their advocacy is to unite. They're running for a position not because of aggrandizement. It is because they know how to develop, how to unite the people. An example is how they were able to unite Sultan Kudarat. You see?
Pero maraming reaction nung last message yun. Yung during of rally, na isa kayo sa front line ng Maguindanao during of Marcos time. Maraming nag-reaction.
Sa reaction sa...
Oo, na isa kayo sa pinaka-unaw ng Maguindanao
Frontliners.
lumaban sa bakbakan.
Yeah, kasama talaga ako.
Na-explain.
In fact, I was asked to return. I was in the front line sa 3 days successive sa Maybong. Wala kayong pahinga. I have experienced being bombed by jet plane and naval boat. I experienced that.
Maraming salamat sa pagbibigay ng mensahe at information at sana po subaybayan niyo po ang second time at sana po magbibigyan kami ng atin na MP dito sa kanyang opisina. Okay,
for spreading the gospel of goodwill.
Yeah, okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you, MP.
Yeah,